I should not say because it's really warm. Okay. And this is our second annual event to felicitate women leaders. And we, so on behalf of our team, I'm Dattatreya Davalgunkar. I'm again welcoming all of you. I see some of the faces who have been with us, C4I4, for quite some time, but I also see some of the new faces. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about what we are, so that we start program with what is C4I4 doing today. So this Center for Industry 4, C4I4, we started in 2018, and our whole mission was that we should help support manufacturing industry for adopting or accelerating adoption of Industry 4, digital, data, smart technologies. And with that in mind, Government of India set up 4 centers across India. One is in Delhi, 2 are in Bangalore, and this is our 4th one. And we are very happy that today, after 4 years, there's a lot of work in terms of research activity, a lot of work in terms of supporting industry, a lot of work in terms of developing our own applications, products has happened with the kind of team that we have. And we are also happy to be associated with very good customer base, with good companies in different form. And I must say that Tata Motors, Kirloskar Group, some engagement with John Deere, and all these helped us learn a lot of things as well. So it's not just we help them, but it also was a reciprocal that our team also learned quite extensively out of this. We set up, we started with a very small setup, and we now have a experience center in Pune University campus. And Dr. Sangram is here because he and Dr. Karmalkar, he brought us to Pune University campus. And I must say that this has immensely benefited both us as well as academic fraternity, because a lot of work in terms of research projects, in terms of student internship, in terms of faculty development program as well happened alongside university as well as affiliated some of the colleges. And mutually, so we talk a lot about industry institute interaction, and that we really saw it happening over last 3 years or so. And I must say that Dr. Karmalkar, who was then Vice-Chancellor, and Dr. Shaligram and their team helped us to achieve that goal. Other challenge which we always had was the team. And I must also say that a very young team, all below 25, they supported us in spite of Corona and all. And we brought this up to a level that we can, and I really feel happy and proud that these people work, when they work on the shop floor or different companies, try understand problem, do a lot of back end work, and then go back and talk to them. So it's a proud journey for all of us as a team. Today, when we are looking at celebrating this annual function, before that I want to show you the video. You have video?
Industry 4.0 is a game changer across industrial settings. The digitalization of manufacturing will change how products are designed, manufactured, distributed and serviced. It's time to join the journey and be a disruptor.
आज जब भारत न्यू इंडिया के संकल्प के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है, अपने सामर्थ्य और संसाधनों को मजबूत कर रहा है, तो उसे फोर्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन का साथ मिलना सोने पर सुहागे की तरफ हो गया है.
Taking inspiration from the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, the Ministry of Heavy Industries launched Samarth Udyog initiative to spread awareness of Industry 4.0 in the manufacturing industry. C4I4 Lab is one of the centers established to provide experiential learning and demonstrate the latest Industry 4.0 technologies. A team of engineers and experts helped us create our first global experience center to take a deep dive into how manufacturers across the globe are impacted by artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, cybersecurity, additive manufacturing, industrial IoT, and robotics.
What you have seen here is a mere glimpse of what is possible. Our Experience Center provides you with an unique opportunity to co-innovate. Come and experience it yourself.
So actually, this video was released last
Industry
month.
4.0 is a game changer.
This video was released last month when this 100th episode of Man Ki Baat, there was an event in Delhi. So anyway, so this last year, when we thought of hosting this first edition of felicitation of women leaders, see, one of the thought which came to our mind is that this data science, automation, digital is a very growing field, and we found that the participation of girls, women is just merely below 20%, and which personally I believe there is a lot to do in this, and that's where we thought of instituting a recognition award, because it will inspire girls to take a career in data science or automation. And there are stories, success stories. So we are seeing here 4 of you, and also Sujata, who have achieved, and Gauri as well. But in the field of data science and automation, and it should inspire others to take a career in this. At home, my mother, daughter, and wife, all three have given me this area that we should look at bringing them up. And in our opinion, this is a very fast-growing field. And if we have women participating in this, probably things will change dramatically. And these are very transformative years. India as a country, we need a lot of resource, and that's where we sort of putting this up together. Last year, we were honored to have Governor of Maharashtra and Education Minister of Maharashtra and Mr. Kirloskar to be here, and they felicitated 3 of our awardees. And continuing with that, we this year also announced, and there were a lot of nominations we got received from different sources. And there was a jury panel. Sujata was part of the team, and Shripad, who couldn't be here today. So they sort of had their own criteria. Sujata will probably speak how they went through the program, and probably, and that's where we are today here. And we are thankful to all 4 of you for being in person here. And I think because every year this is going to bring a lot of new ideas to us. We also can showcase our capabilities, and it will keep us also at the workplace. We have tried to maintain that. Today, our 40% of our team is with girls, and that is a really proud thing for us. And it's both, there are postgraduates as well as people who support us from finance, HR. So it's a combination of both. So that helps us looking at next level things. So this year when we started looking at a program, we thought let's invite all of you in a hall like this, and we are also going live, and I'm told about 600 plus are connected online as well, which is a good thing because we are in Pune and there are people outside Pune who would like to be part of this program, and that's where we are setting up this. Today, Gauri, thanks for coming and being here with us for all our events, and so you are the best person to felicitate our awardees. Yoshida-san, thanks for coming here today from a busy schedule. Today he came in at about 12, I think, and spent a lot of time trying to understand what all we are doing. I also had a memory that Yoshida-san's predecessor, he was here when we signed a MOU with Pune University. This was about 5 years back, just before COVID. And we also are going to have Vice-Chancellor of Pune University joining us very soon. Because of G20, there are a lot of people coming in here, and he's busy with some of those, but he will join us in next 5-10 minutes. I also take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues, Sadashiv and team, who has done excellent work in last 3 weeks to put up this whole program. See that all my minute details are done very methodically. And so let's get on to this, because I wanted to introduce RJ Sangram. Today is going to be our host for the program. And he has a passion for technology. He has a very nice voice all of us know. But something you should know that about technology he speaks, innovation he speaks, and feminism. That's the three areas where, and that's where he agreed to be part of this program. So I invite Sangram to take the stage now. Thank you.
Thanks, you're very kind. Hi, namaskar, good afternoon to everybody. In fact, we were having lunch a little while ago, and one of my new friends, she's from Bangalore, and she said, look, sorry, it looks like everybody in Pune knows you. Barobar na? Yeah. But I'm from Bangalore, so I don't know what you're about. So what are you doing here? She probably expected me to say automation, data science, analytics, IT, tech, toys, and so on. But I told her no, because I'm a feminist. And that a lot of people are really taken aback when... So what is feminism? You know, feminism is essentially, can we have equal rights and opportunities for everybody, irrespective of gender? That's feminism. I mean, just because historically, women have not had the same kind of platforms or opportunities, it becomes feminism. Otherwise, it's essentially, chalo, equal for everybody. And I've been doing that very actively on my radio show, which is why this program is so important for me. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said that the mark of a civilization is what the women are up to in that civilization, in that society. I did a very interesting program on my show. I don't know if you guys caught it. It was called Aho Zao. Aho Zao was, I think, 6-8 months back. I asked a very simple question. I asked my audience, what do you call, how do you address your father? In the first person, or singular second person, or plural third person, them, tumhi, apan, aap. What do you call your mother? It's very immediate, tu. Ai tu asa ka kartes? Baba tumhi ashe ka karta? And I just threw out the question saying, why is that? Why, what's the difference? And then there were the usual answers where people said, that's because, Ai is so close, na? Ai is the closest. I was like, hey, wait a minute, that sounds a little suspicious. I'm very close to my father. There's a lot of fathers who are very hands-on. And why shouldn't a father also be as important as the mother for you? So there's something going on there. Then we had a large, long drawn-out discussion where finally one 60-year-old man told me, he broke down on my radio show. And I felt really bad I did that to him. But he said, listen, बाहेरचं जग इतकं वाईट आहे. आम्हाला इतक्या लाथा खाव्या लागतात बाहेरच्या जगाच्या की घरी आलं तरी आम्ही कोणतरी मोठे आहोत आणि बॉस आहोत असं फिलिंग आलं पाहिजे म्हणून आम्ही मुलांना आणि बायकोला सांगतो. जस्ट टू ट्रान्सलेट फॉर एव्हरीबडी एल्स हू इज जॉइनिंग अस लाईव्ह, द वर्ल्ड आउटसाइड इज सो क्रुअल. The work life is so cruel, professional life is so cruel, dunyadari is so cruel that we men need to come back home and feel like, the world might think that you're worthless, but at least my child and my wife will say, Aap, you're the best, you're the great. So this is what I've been doing, and which is why I'm very interested. I have a niece who's 10, I have two nieces, they're both 10 and 8 years old, and I'd love for them to get into STEM. I'd love for them to get into the sciences, in technology, in engineering, in mathematics. So this is a topic very close to my heart. So I welcome everybody. I'm going to give you a warm welcome, because you can't stay in a tropical country and then complain about how hot it is. That's just not done. Another Marathi reference here, Pula Deshpande had said की तुम्ही गोठ्यात काम करता आणि तुम्हाला बैलाची घाण वाटते. That's not going to work out at all. So very warm welcome to everybody. Can I introduce our chief guests to you? very nice motley crew of people here. Very nice to meet you guys. We have first Mr. Tomohiro Yoshida. 29 years of experience. He's currently serving as the director of the Factory Automation Industrial Division at Mitsubishi Electric India. He started his journey with Mitsubishi Electric Corporation in Japan, of course, in 1992, when I was 11 years old. And he worked in various departments at Nagoya. I hope I'm getting that right. It's Nagoya, the mother factory, where he worked in the engineering and development of inverters, which we are desperately using even today. I mean, the lights went out, I think, an hour ago or so. I live in Bhugao, and we essentially live on inverters, not on the main currents. So can I please welcome you on stage? Dattatreya sir, can I also invite you on stage, and can we felicitate him? Can we welcome him? Backstage team, backstage team. See, this is why we are all insisting on automation. Huh? This is the last year you'll have this job. Okay, last month now, because why do you guys figure that out? Can I tell you something? About 6, 7, 8 years ago, I spoke to Google. I mean, I didn't Google something. I actually went to the head of Google India and I said, listen, why can't we do this automation? And I'll tell you about what I proposed and how I did not end up making millions of dollars. Can we please? Our next guest is this is the traditional shawl. Our next guest is Gauri Kirloskar, the Managing Director of Kirloskar Oil Engines Limited, involved in strategic initiatives of the Kirloskar Group into infrastructure, investments and new technologies. And also leading the change in the areas of branding, corporate communications. You might need my help sometime for that. And shared services. Can we have you on stage, please? Thank you. VC sir nahi aale azun. Okay, we're waiting for the Vice-Chancellor. I have some old documents that I need to collect from the university. I'm going to request him for those. I'm kidding. But if my friends had known, or if my listeners had known I'm coming here today, they would definitely have said, "वो मेरा school leaving certificate बाकी है यार, अभी भी जाके pick up कर ले." Can I also invite Sujata Tilak Madam, one of the juries on stage. She is a thought leader and recognized expert in industrial Internet of Things. This is something I've just learned. I know about the IoT, but this is the industrial Internet of Things. Wow, IIoT and convergence of IT and OT. She has over 30 years of experience in industrial automation, environmental monitoring, smart manufacturing and digital transformation. She's worked with Alfa Laval, KPIT, before founding Ascent Intellimation. Intelligent and Automation, Intellimation. She's also a volunteer leader and executive board member of the International Society of Automation, the ISA. She mentors students, professionals and startups in the automation and IoT world. Thank you very much for joining us. Can we do the traditional lighting of the lamp together to kickstart the proceedings? Sujata ma'am, can I request you to address us and share with us what exactly it is that you were thinking about when you were evaluating all of these wonderful people?
Thanks, Sangram. And thank you, Mr. Naval Gurungkar and C4I4 team for starting this excellent initiative. They started it last year, and I was one of the awardees last year, and this year I am on the other side of the table. So I'm really glad that they decided to give these awards to women leaders in the field of automation and data science. And mainly I am little bit more glad that they did it for automation, because data science is all the rage these days, right? Everybody knows what is data science, everybody is aware of it. But automation being around for maybe 50, 60 years, people are still not, it's not mainstream, so to say, not popular, or not very many people know what is industrial automation, right? So I'm very glad that they decided to give an award to women working in industrial automation. It's a very difficult field, and those who are working in that field will agree with me that it is not easy to be in that industrial automation field. You have to work on sites, you have to work odd hours, you have to go to God-forsaken places where there is really nothing around and so on. For Industry 4.0, which is the main, or which is the domain or area of C4I4, these two fields are key. Automation, because Industry 4.0 is the foundation of Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 stands on automation. So unless you have the measurement, unless you have sensors, PLCs, controllers, all that, there will be no Industry 4.0, right? And data science, of course, because data science allows you to take advantages of this data and gives you, guidance, gives you insights, gives you full understanding of what is there and what can be there. Data science helps us to extrapolate, or it helps us to predict. So it doesn't just tell us what is there, it tells us what can be there and how to either take advantage of that or how to avoid certain problems. Yeah. So glad to see this. And now coming to the process of this award selection and all. So we got about 15 applications, and the criteria we used, and I will say that it wasn't very easy to decide which awardees to select. We used a few of criteria. So myself and my fellow jurist, Mr. Shripad Ranade. So we both of us discussed and we decided what criteria to use. The first criteria was, of course, contribution in the field, respective field, either automation or data science. That was the first criteria. But we were also looking for actual practitioners. I mean, active contribution, who are actually doing the work now, be it development of products, be it involvement in the projects which are in this field. Then we were looking for women who have shown leadership skills. So the leadership was another criteria which we decided was important. And the fourth criteria was that they should be evangelizing about their respective fields to the society at large. So we were looking for their participation in events, their participation in writing articles, books, and so on. So these were the four criteria, and the thought leadership, of course. So thought leadership, the contribution to the field, active contribution to the field, being leader of their chosen team or chosen field, and the last one being an evangelist and doing some kind of a writing about the field in the overall society. So these were the four criteria, and I'm really glad that all these four women are worthy of this award and more. So I would like to congratulate Uma, Sangeeta, Rutuja, and Deepa for getting this award. And I was very impressed by the work that is being done by Sangeeta. She's working in the sensor technology. So very less works happens in India in the sensors. right? There is a lot of work happening on top of the sensor. So you use sensors and then you build systems out of it. But sensor technology is the fundamental building block of measurement of automation, and very glad to see that she's doing work in, and I would like to go and see her work in the institute where she's working. So congratulations to all of you again, and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You mentioned your co-jury, Shripad Ranade. He's a leading leadership coach and management consultant. He's also the founder of Ikigai Discoveries. He has about 24 years of diverse and rich corporate experience with interest spanning leadership, diversity, strategy, and digitalization. He has coached hundreds of people across a wide range of industry sectors, industrials to advertising. Corporate roles, he's been MD, he's coached MDs and CEOs to new managers and people of different nationalities and demographics. He unfortunately couldn't join us here in person. While we wait for the Vice-Chancellor, may I request one of our chief guests, Mr. Tomohiro Yoshida, to say a few words.
It's a little bit warm, hot for me. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Yes. Welcome to this event organized by C4I4 Lab, Women Leaders in Automation and Data Science Annual Award Ceremony. I'm Tomohiro Yoshida, Director of Factory Automation and Industrial Division of Mitsubishi Electric India. I started my journey with Mitsubishi Electric Corporation Japan in the year 1992. And I worked in various departments at Nagoya, our mother factory. At the Nagoya factory, Japan, I have worked in the engineering and development of inverters. I took charge as the head of Factory Automation and Industrial Division, Mitsubishi Electric India, since 1st April 2021. Mitsubishi Electric India started its operation in year 2010. We have various business units, factory automation, living environment, which deal in air conditioning products, elevator and escalators, semiconductors, transportation, etc. Our corporate office is located at Gurugram. At the Factory Automation and Industrial Division, we offer products like PLCs, HMIs, VFDs, AC servo systems, switchgear, NC controllers, industrial robots, along with software products like SCADA. Our focus is upon introducing various software products for smart manufacturing. Recently, we have launched collaborative robot assister and locally designed, developed, and manufactured graphic operation controller. For enabling digitalization through e-factory, we have introduced IoT Gateway in India market. With the nationwide initiative of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India, Indian manufacturing is making gradual progress. It is now imperative for the industries to adopt smart manufacturing on shop floors, and they should utilize available resources to ensure safe operation and produce high-quality products. At Mitsubishi Electric, smart manufacturing is powered by a comprehensive platform, e-factory. E-factory was introduced way back in the year 2003 in Japan. We have successfully implemented it in our own manufacturing facilities at Japan and at many other countries across the world. E-factory is also implemented at our Pune manufacturing plant, where we manufacture and assemble products like inverters, energy meters, graphic operation controllers, and switch gears. E-factory solutions have been successfully implemented in different industry verticals across the world. to enhance our offering based upon our FL products and to strengthen implementation of smart manufacturing. We are associated with alliance partners. Our e-factory alliance partners have expertise ranging from the IT domain to integration services. This strong association can deliver IIoT solutions to varied industry verticals. We at Mitsubishi Electric believe in collaborative approach and encourage our alliance partners to take advantage of this association to increase our presence in digitalization business. Implementing e-factory solutions will enhance manufacturing facilities, improving productivity, quality, and will provide opportunities to manufacturers to grow in domestic as well as international market for propelling made in India products. Mitsubishi Electric India is also working with various universities, institutions for skill development programs and providing trainings to faculties and students to introduce the latest technologies in factory automation and especially in the smart manufacturing domain. I'd like to thank C4I4 Lab for their various initiatives. I'm quite sure that India will firmly stay on the growth path and will head towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. I congratulate C4I4 Lab for such an excellent initiative to acknowledge contribution of women who are playing significant role in automation and data science. No country can progress if women are not empowered. Women will be part of future growth in all sectors. Here in India, I'm witnessing contribution of women in automation field increase every day. Before I close my speech, I'm happy to inform you that we Mitsubishi Electric India are in process of setting up our new manufacturing facility near Pune, and the construction of our factory is in progress. Thank you for C4I4 for giving me this good opportunity and inviting me to be part of such a wonderful event. This type of event and initiative will help to enhance the relationship between industries and institutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed. May I invite the Managing Director of Kirloskar Oil Engines Limited, Gauri Kirloskar, to address us.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. And I just want to say it's so nice to see so many men in the audience here because thank you for your support for this event. And we really need that support. You know, I think I'm always very reluctant to come to events which talk about giving awards to women leaders. And I'll tell you why. I'm not trying to be offensive in any way, but I think that we'll really reach equality when we come to an event for leaders. We don't talk about men leaders. And and when half of those awardees are women. So that's a long way, and thank you in the meanwhile to the men in this room who are supporting us to get there. I'm today in many forums where we're talking about the potential for India as a manufacturing location, and one of the big reasons for that is because of the demographic, the young demographic that is coming into the workforce in India. But what people tend to ignore is if we ignore half of that demographic and we don't employ them and we don't provide opportunities for employment, we've lost half that growth. So it's incredibly important until then to have events like this. So thank you to C4I4 for hosting this event, for inviting me here. Thank you, Mr. Naval Gundkar, for all of the great work that you've done, and also for your young team, which is 40% women. So that's very encouraging. So I was recently reading an article about ChatGPT and similar AI models, and how, there's a lot of debate about how jobs are being replaced, especially routine jobs. For example, we may not need a travel agent to plan a trip to Europe anymore. ChatGPT can do that for you. So while that may sound scary, if we look over many generations, each generation has had to go through a pretty massive change like this. So you can start with the agricultural revolution, where a lot of the sort of hunter and gatherer type of jobs got replaced with farm mechanization. And then the industrial revolution came about, and many of those jobs got replaced as well, especially when people understood the power of manufacturing at scale. So many of the small designers and the small manufacturers went out of jobs. Later, when computers came about, many of the traditional jobs then, like stenographers and bookkeepers, went out of fashion or got modified into something else. So with ChatGPT models now staring at our faces, there will be some jobs that become obsolete and new ones that will come into play. At every transition point like this, the adoption cycle happened amongst 5 segments. So there were the innovators, the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, and then the laggards. And what is interesting to mention here is that these transitions have always happened, changes like these that result in the overall progress of society. And while the society that is the recipient of the benefits of these changes will get bucketed in these segments, ultimately the change or transition will always happen. As is that case with any major change, it will evolve into what is optimum mode over a period of time through that change process. It is in this context that changes like Industry 4.0, data science, artificial intelligence is to be looked at. If these technologies eventually benefit the society at large, they will get implemented irrespective of the resistance to that change. Of course, some concerns that exist today will get addressed over time, but it does not mean that that implementation will get stalled. So if we know that that change is eventually going to happen, the smarter thing to do is to constantly scan the market for what is new and get expertise on that technology, design products and services using that technology rather than resist it. In fact, the innovators and the early adopters in the adoption cycle have a significant advantage over the rest of the categories. If we look at the Kirloskar group, we have a history of being innovators or early adopters, whether it was with the first iron plow, whether it's in terms of getting the latest engine technology from the rest of the world into India, whether it's in terms of getting whether it's in terms of establishing C4I4, an organization focused on Industry 4.0, data science and artificial intelligence in partnership with the government of India. The group has had a history of being an innovative organization, thus giving it an early mover advantage in the industries that it operates in. When one looks at the space of data science, AI and ML, there's a clear dearth of talent. While the government, in partnership with the industry through organizations like C4I4, is putting in the right efforts in building this talent pool, what is also interesting to note is what Mr. Navalgundkar mentioned, which is that only 20% of girls choose this field. And if one looks at it, it's actually something that I couldn't explain because it's an industry where the hardships related to shop floor or working environment like that does not exist. We also see that the percentage of women participation in the white-collared workforce is increasing, and against that, the 20% number here really stands out like a sore thumb. While there may be many reasons for it, I believe that over time, the representation of women will improve significantly in the sector. After all, it's not a skill that involves heavy, intense manual labor, and it's a job that demands intelligence and skill. So I believe it's only a matter of time that the representation of women in this space will go up from its current 20%. At C4I4 and overall at a Kirloskar group, we believe in the power of women in leadership roles. A real movement of the needle when it comes to diversity can only happen when there are enough women in leadership positions already. Otherwise, it's only a metric that we track, and it's difficult to actually retain women in these positions. I want to congratulate each of the winners here today. I want to appreciate all of the good work that you are doing as women leaders in this field. Each one of you are torchbearers for the next generation. I am sure that it was not easy for you to get here. I'm sure that you may have faced many challenges, but it's because of people like you who lead from the front that we will hopefully see change in this field, and you will serve as role models for girls who are entering this field. So congratulations, and thank you to C4I4 for taking the initiative in this very critical space, and for recognizing these wonderful women leaders for their contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gauriji. I think 20% can quite easily be explained away by saying, "Yeah, asach hota," because it's always been so. I think a lot of it is just stereotype. A lot of it is. I mean, I'm sure there are very basic differences between men and women in terms of what kind of work they like to do, are better at, etc. But I'll leave that to the scientists, to the neuro scientists, to explain to us those minute differences of operation. But it, I think, always boils down to. Now, I'll give you my example. For example, I like to push weights. I like to do a 300-pound deadlift. Okay, I'm really happy doing that. And my wife, who's a doctor and a runner, she said, let's say we like to hike a lot. So let's say we're in the jungle and I twist my foot and you have to now carry me back to, civilization. How would you do that? And I'm like, I would pick you up. I would do one deadlift. With your weight, I could do about 30 or 40 deadlifts, and then I would put you back down and then walk away alone. She's like, no, you're not supposed to do that. You need to be, you need endurance, Baba. You need to run, you need to walk, run longer, etc. And I thought I could never run. She made me do a 21-kilometer half marathon. Okay, I actually ran those 21 kilometers, and I always thought I could never do that. That's not my thing. So it's always, that's not my thing. Similarly, when I asked her to do her taxes one particular year, she said, oh, that's not my thing. And then I told her, I just said, just sit down and focus on me. You're a doctor, okay? Just focus for 10 minutes. I explained that to her. And now suddenly I realized that she doesn't ask me for help every year for her taxes because she's figured it out. So I think a lot of it is just stereotype. We just have to put out more examples of women doing all the stuff that our awardees are doing. And I think that will have a snowball effect. There are other socio-political things involved in that. I'm not going to go there right now. But on my show, we'll definitely talk about that. Let's get right down to it. At every awards function, everybody else is interested in क्या हो रहा है, क्या बातें हो रही है. The awardees are like, अरे यार award दे दो यार. ये award कब मिलने वाला है? Award अभी मिलने वाला है आपको. I'm going to kickstart. May I? The awards by announcing our winners one by one. Let me introduce you to Uma Balakrishnan. She's a pioneering entrepreneur. I've dropped the woman. The script says woman entrepreneur. I dropped it after what you said. Is a pioneering entrepreneur and well-known name in the industrial automation industry in India. She has over 30 years of experience in leading OEM technologies across various industries and has worked through major technology shifts. She pursued a master's in computer science from BITS Pilani and started her consulting business, which focused on industrial automation for the consumer goods industry. She developed advanced algorithms for the extrusion process. You'll have to explain that to me later. Also obtained an MBA degree from IIM Bangalore. Actually, most of us would have just said, "Arey kya baat hai?" If you said BITS Pilani IIM. That's it. No more introduction needed. In 2001, and that's where the journey really started, she started Accend, which provides engineering services, manufacturing solutions, and digital transformation for manufacturing. Uma is a passionate and seasoned technology practitioner. Her focus is to leverage the power of technology to help customers achieve their business goals. She recently founded a smart wearable technology startup, Yamala, is that right? Yamala? Which will redefine operator experience in factories. Interesting. For somebody who's not from the industry, like me, wearable immediately means कि sports के लिए है, fashion के लिए है. But clearly, the industrial applications of these are huge. Uma is part of various associations and ventures in the manufacturing sector, such as the Automation Industry Association of India and the CII. May I please welcome our first awardee, Uma Balakrishnan. Uma, you forgot the traditional shawl. Shal ani Shrifal is the tradition. We decided not to do. And our next awardee is Dr. Sangeeta Kare. Dr. Sangeeta Narendra Kare is a director, policy and planning, and professor in physics at the Defense Institute of Advanced Technology right here in Pune. Dr. Sangeeta Kare has 32 years of teaching and research experience in physical sciences, especially applied physics. I just had a slight PTSD sort of moment. Applied physics, applied mechanics was my first year of engineering. She has academic qualifications such as a PhD from the University of Maryland, College Park, USA, and postdoctoral research from the University of Maryland, College Park, USA. She's a visiting senior scientist from International Center for Theoretical Physics, the ICTP, at Trieste, Italy. She specializes in sensors, diagnostics and healthcare solutions, nanomaterials, and applications. Dr. Sangeeta Kare, along with 3 others, have formed a company named Navayukti Innovations Private Limited at DIAT Pune. The company works on drug delivery vehicles. It's not what you think it is if you've been watching too much Netflix and Narcos. Drug delivery vehicles and sensor devices. Can we please have Dr. Sangeeta Kare on stage? So while we were on stereotypes, Dr. Sangeeta Kare doesn't look like a quote-unquote typical scientist kind of professor kind of person, right? I would have taken, if you were at Bal Gandharva, I would have taken you for an artist or a critic or something like that, right? That's how stereotypes work. Our next awardee is Deepa R, the group head of Machine Vision Group at CMTI, and has developed solutions related to vision technology for industrial problems. Ms. Deepa has developed systems for carrying out 3D measurements using handheld laser scanning and fringe projection technologies. She is skilled in quickly coming up with the requisite system design for a given non-contact inspection application. Her immediate focus is to use machine learning techniques to detect subsurface defects and develop in situ monitoring systems in additive manufacturing machines. She has also been instrumental in establishing the Mechatronics and Machine Vision Laboratory at CMTI. Deepa R, please. And finally, Rutuja Udyavar. She has nearly 2 decades of data science experience, starting with Tata Motors in automotive warranty data analytics and moving on to projects in various domains. She has demonstrated strong leadership in driving transformational initiatives across multiple industries and delivering successful analytics projects. Under her leadership, Optimum Data Analytics, ODA, is set to be at the forefront of technology innovation in artificial intelligence, machine learning. We've been here since 3 o'clock. And I was wondering when we will say AI. We haven't said AI so far. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, Industry 4.0, and business analytics. Rutuja has received numerous awards and is a frequent contributor to industry publications, a featured speaker at industry conferences, a mentor to young developers and entrepreneurs, and a visiting faculty at leading B schools and engineering colleges. Rutuja Udyavar, please. The Vice-Chancellor isn't here yet. Tenna absent mark kara. 75% attendance is compulsory, no? Or is that only for us when we were in college? So when he does get here, then I will have a chat with him. I want to thank all of my guests once again. We have a very interesting panel discussion that's going to happen now. Really want to pick your brains, all of you awardees, and try and understand at least half the things that were there in your introductions. I said the words. I'm not sure I have any clue what they really meant. So thank you very much. And can we have all of the awardees on stage, please? I'll be sitting right in the middle. So 2 ladies on that side and 2 this side. Can we have the wireless mics? Check. Check, check, check. चालू है? आवाज बढ़ो थोड़ा. Better. Check. Check, check. So the team here at C4I4 has given me a very technical and very dry sounding question. Okay, I'm going to read that out to you, and then I'm going to ask you my actual question. So according to you, what are the significant trends in automation and data science in recent years? Boring. Instead of that, what we'd like to know is, and I want everybody's comments on this. Let's start with you. भाई चल क्या रहा है? Back in November, when this whole Chat GPT thing came about, I did a live show with Chat GPT, right? It got most of the answers completely wrong, especially because I was doing Marathi. What was most insulting was when I asked who is the #1 Marathi radio jockey in the universe. It talked about some Hindi person in Mumbai. So imposition of Hindi on Chat GPT as well. But it also got a lot of things really wrong. Then I went back and I was doing a live show, right? I'm typing in here and I'm saying, broadcasting on the radio, saying, "Dekh, Chat GPT aisa bol raha hai." 2 months later, it was much better. 2 more months later, it was much, much better. So what's happening? What are the latest trends in automation? Should we all be without a job very soon, or is something else going on?
No, I don't think that everybody will be out of job because of AI. Definitely AI and the latest trends is going to take over the regular jobs, the ones which are being repetitive in nature. But the jobs, I believe, would transform to something that would need the humans to think more creatively and then probably develop the AI systems itself. So yeah, that is what I think so. And coming to the latest trends, I think some of the I would just like to talk about some of the trends that are really setting in. So one of the things is the edge computing. It has been existing from quite some time, but yeah, edge computing is like doing the processing and then the analysis at the close to the data source. But then there is some recent trend which is coming up, which is basically the RISC-V, the ecosystem which is building up. RISC-V is actually open source instruction set architecture, using which people can build their own processors and controllers without really paying any royalty or adopting some the proprietary ISAs like ARM ISA or the x86. So I think these kind of trends we need to really adopt, and then we need to start building up right from the beginning so that we are not lost in the race.
Interesting. Trends. What are the trends in automation and data science in the recent years? A little closer, closer.
So I have one thing, since you said you spoke to ChatGPT and it improved. It's also possible you improved how you use ChatGPT. It's a two-way. So I think that's true with every technology that we do. Um, I think more than anything else, the fact that an RJ used ChatGPT, I think, is a big thing that technology has come to common use. The flip side to that is it's exaggerated. You feel it's, I don't know, in Sanskrit we have Sarva Vyadhi Nivaranam, Sarva Papa Shakram. You have one thing, it will solve all problems. So the expectations, I think, even from industrial users now on what they tell me ChatGPT can do is shocking. So I think the thing with technologies is first it's an acronym, then it's a hype, and then over a period of time we all users try to understand. I think two things I believe are important from an India context. I'm going to respond more from our country's perspective than think. India has a lot of people, lot of people and labor available for work. So I think most of these technologies which are used, I think will get adopted with small things which coupled with labor or people use. I don't see the technology adoption being this will come and automate everything and people will be jobless. We will have a different cycle of how the adoption will happen. The challenge for us in adopting technologies, because we are serving global markets using the same technologies to improve their country's productivity, a lot part of our brains will go in offering these services to the global market and make a service economy. I think as a country, it's important for us to say this is a technology we want to use for our productivity improve. So any interventions from government and private sectors to make this more for the manufacturing economy of India would help. Technologies per se, I think, while the theme today is on data science and other things, I think Cobos, which is in the shop floor and other things, I think some of those will get more adopted so that the heavy lifting work can be, both heavier robots will come in. I think it's a good thing because then women can enter factory workforce because then you don't need to do physical thing. There was a conference, I think Mitsubishi, some of them were there, we were in Hosur, where the leader there said, women use automation more at home like mixies and grinders and their livelihood improved. We never thought of it, but he said that. And therefore he believes factories, when they become more automated, will make it easy for more women to enter workforce. So I think in the theme of this C4IOs, I think there's a byproduct to it that more women would probably enter factories with this. That's my two bits.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think a round of applause for that insight. Ma'am?
Just continuing what the other two have said, I think predictive analysis is one thing which is going to trend. It is already kind of trending. This word is, I think, kind of common for very many applications. So predictive analysis is something in which you will be able to analyze something from what has been detected by some device, and it will try to give you n different options and then keep on learning slowly and steadily to come to a single option. So I think this is something which is going to come up in a big way. It is already there, but it's going to improve a lot in the coming time. So this is, for example, ChatGPT, as you rightly started the conversation with. So as it starts becoming smarter and smarter, we all know that there is a parallel kind of a software hardware component which comes up and says that, hey, if you are generating this kind of a document, probably it is ChatGPT. So this is the kind of predictive analysis I think is going to be kind of the next trend. And as what ma'am was saying, since India is having a big, it's a very big consumer market, then the consumer interface is also going to be a very big thing with the integration of data science, AI, and machine learning.
Okay, so so I started as a statistician. So my academics background is a statistician, and so when I became a statistician, people used to ask me, "What do you do?" You know, like because the data science word was not coined at that time, and people didn't know that what data is, right? Especially in India, and after a few years, I went to the US, I came back, and suddenly people started saying, "Oh, you're a data scientist," you know. So I had actually seen that 360-degree thing to the buzz of the data and data science, right? So I would say that to me, it was always important, right? As a statistician, it was always important. But the recent trend I could see, or rather I feel that it is important because it is democratizing the whole system. I mean, you know, one example that I would like to give, that recently I watched this video of Eran Segal. It's about nutrition, right? So the thing is, he says that, do you know what is the best diet for you? And how to find out the best diet for you? So the thing is, you always depend upon nutrition, either a nutritionist or maybe your traditional things, right? But then you get those patches, right, with which you can monitor your sugar. Okay, if you keep collecting the data, you can actually figure out which food items shoot your sugar. Okay, and
What's
that
working
way,
and what's not.
yeah, what works for you and what. So this is data-driven insight for your own personal thing, right? So these days, you know, like whenever people talk about AI or data, they always keep talking about it will take away my job. But at the same time, you have to think that it is creating more jobs or it is creating more personal insights for you. And that is sort of the power of this AI. Okay, second thing I would like to mention that, you know, like the way in which I said that patch, right? In general, it is called as non-destructive testing. Okay, so non-destructive testing means you are not destructing anything and still you are testing the various things. Okay, one of the recent projects that we are doing is related to drone image analysis. So usually what happens is like in big cement plants or something, so drones go, they do that footage and all, right? And then there is a report which gets created which says that where is the defect and all. So the traditional way is that now those are big chimneys, right? They are like many meters long. And so someone actually goes there and fix something. It's a risky job. In a way, it's a risky job. Someone is going inside and doing something. What if we could put robots over there, right? Because ultimately that job will go, but then that person might have better job than what he is doing today, right? So I feel that all this non-destructive testing is actually getting more important, or it is becoming critical, and it is possible today because of all the data that we are getting generated, right? Because of different video footage or images or something. That is one thing. Third thing, I would like to talk about the way in which he explained feminism and the equal opportunity. So in our company, we are working on this wearable assistive device for visually impaired people. And this is AI-based product that we are doing with collecting multiple images. And the thing is, you know, when I'm talking about visually impaired people, generally people feel that people who are completely blind or, you know, they are completely dependent, but it's not the story, right? Like when I'm talking about visually impaired people, I'm talking about low vision people. And this low vision is the defect which is increasing in our population because of the lifestyle that we have today. And, you know, like the diabetic retinopathy or ARMD, like different defects that are happening due to lifestyle or the age. And then people suddenly become, the person who is active till yesterday suddenly become dependent upon someone. What about that equal opportunity, right? And then we create these kind of devices which based upon data, then that is something is actually creating that equal opportunity. And that's where AI stands.
Excellent. Uma, I remember, I was very young then, but I read about this when the first computers were brought into India, or the whole idea of कि computers आएंगे. I think there were widespread strikes and near riots where people said, hello, we won't have any jobs left. How can you do this? Back when cars were introduced, that's when people said, look, we'll lose the horses and we'll lose the entire economy that surrounds, let's say, a horse or a bullock, right? We're going to lose all that, and oh my God, what's going to happen? So every time there is some kind of automation in the offing, there are obstacles, there are challenges. Is the same thing happening right now with the adoption of data science and automation, especially in industry?
I read an article I read an article yesterday, and I think I'll give the pointers. I think it's by a gentleman called Noah Principal, saying there is a new thing that AI should be regulated. I'm just going to connect the dots with what you're saying. AI is to be regulated because it can go rogue and humanity can be killed, and there's a lot of things about pausing AI development. And there's another gentleman who's written this article by saying it shouldn't be limited, because everything we thought about industrial revolution when it happened, on hindsight, we knew it was good. And nobody can predict what will happen. So it's useless to predict what will happen to the job. That was and I thought, I'm going to take that lead. It's not my wisdom. So I don't think it'll come and jobs will go away, but I think what will happen is things which are very repetitive, right? When we have more people working, we also have the challenge of managing them, right? We don't get uniform behavior of people. Machines, you can do it. With people, they are people. So anything which is repetitive and which has been done, which today a small tool can do, I believe those jobs will erode a bit. Not because people didn't find, because managing people is more painful. So the pain of handling people will to reduce it, not necessarily for the efficiency. The trade-off, I think, will happen in the white-collar jobs. I think in the blue-collar, in the factories, like I said, things where you're doing non-value add work like moving material and things in certain segments, I think will change, because I don't think the jobs will go away, but I think they can adapt to new. There's something called tribal knowledge of people who work on shop floors. I don't think market or people respect that too much. Since you said one statement while reading mine saying extrusion, and you don't know what extrusion is, I want to tell a small anecdote to connect to the problem. This was done many years back when there was no AI, ML, none of it. There was a factory where they were doing a press where they were extruding aluminum. And the foreman, it was a unionized factory, and the foreman knew how to use the press. It was a second-hand press. And only he knew how to use it well to get the output. So literally, he was holding the entire factory in the CEO and blackmail. So I got to hear about it, and I told him, no, don't worry, we can sort this out. So we did a simple experiment, but it worked. And I want to tell you why that is connected to this. It was in a state, if I say the state, it will be political, but it was in Kerala at that time. And that time there was a famous actress. I forget her name, and the corporate office people had the screensavers with her photographs, but shop floor didn't have any pictures. So what we did, we wrote an algorithm in simple VB with some script, nothing major. And when the thing comes correctly, this actress face will, in good clothes, not anything bad, will pop out on the shop floor. So the union could do nothing about it because it was not against any of the criterias, and we used it. We used simple technology, but we worked on the psychology of the shop floor people. And ultimately, the factory didn't automate beyond a point, they kept the workers. So as long as people find people's behavior can be changed towards productivity and taken along, technology and people can go can do a duet. You don't need to eliminate one to do other. That's I think, my view of how I think the world will be.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that very interesting anecdote. Next time, if you ever send me an email and it has an attachment of a picture, I'm going to wonder what you're manipulating me into doing. This is for Dr. Sangeeta Kare. There's obviously a lot of ethical concerns around AI, ML, and there's always been these concerns, except that now there's Stephen Hawking, before he died, said, boss, either greed or artificial intelligence is going to be the death of us, right? Then somebody who thinks he's smarter than Stephen Hawking, Elon Musk, of course, has also been talking about about AI and the problems that AI, the big risk that it could pose to us. So within automation and data sciences and research in general, are there any ethical concerns or considerations that we as academics, as industry should look at first?
Um, yeah, actually, the question can be answered in kind of twofold ways. On one side, we have large amount of data which is generated. It is intentionally generated by the consumers, also by the industry people, and so on. This data has been used on one side and it is also abused on the other side. The person who is generating the data unknowingly may fall into a problem unknowingly. So I think the first thing that one has to do is data regulation. So this data regulation has to come in picture at our country level and of course at the international level.
Do we have any data regulation right now, or is it in infancy, or are we on track? Or
I think it is in infancy. Just for example, if we see the recent Twitter case, we do know that there is a kind of a data regulation, but it is still in the infancy. This is one. The second is also related to data security. The two are different things. So when we are trying to, for example, I come from Ministry of Defense. So we generate good amount of data. Of course, we have different networks for the same. That's a different story. But the data that is being generated, it can be classified. It can be a kind of a personal information of somebody while banking, while doing any other transaction, while making the reels which are very popular, and so on. So there has to be a major concern of data authenticity and data protection. So these two things are also to be looked into. This particular space is considered, but not much in the consumer market. It is being considered wherever we have good corporate culture or wherever we have some networks such as defense networks or ISRO kind of space networks. The data security is very much well maintained, but it's not so in the general big networks such as wide area internets. So I think these two things are very important. We have to have some regulations and we have to have an procedure or a protocol for data security. These are the two main things.
But even with the best sort of security and regulation in place, safeguards in place, what do you do about, let's say, the senior citizens in my family, where some of them, when I meet them once in 2 weeks, and I go to do a sanity check of their mobile phones. So I open their mobile phone and I have to clear out stuff, make space in it, update all of their apps. And also invariably there are about 10 different rummy apps that they have accidentally clicked on some ad somewhere and it's all downloaded already, right? Then they have something called cleanup apps. The apps that promise to clean up your phone are actually clogging your phone. And they keep thinking this is something we need to do, so they keep downloading that. So on one side you have, you're talking about artificial intelligence, you're talking about massively parallel processing, you're talking about everything is going to be on the cloud now. Your phone doesn't need to have much processing power, right? Sab kuch ho ke aayega wahan se. And then you have the end user on this side who doesn't know whether I should click on this SMS or I should download this attachment or not. What do we do about that?
So for this, this is a problem which is a very generic problem. So it has something to do with digital literacy. For that, I don't think any technology is going to help us. I think it is only the digital literacy campaigns and the workshops and getting these people educated and trying to, tell them that what should be opened, what should not be opened. When you open, how you should be ensuring that the app is closed. The app is not listening to you. It's not mapping you while you're moving around. So digital literacy is the only way out. There is no other way.
Cool. I'll probably do a family Zoom call and then invite you on that. You can talk to them about that. Now, I have this question for both of you. A lot of youngsters here are saying, yaar, kaam ki baat kar, kaam ki baat kar. What are the specific skills that people in, not just youngsters, even mid-level career people need to start honing, need to start learning? What do they need to start unlearning? What are the skills of the future if you want to survive in this, in your AI and automation and big data?
I think basically the first level, the strong programming skills, that is never going to die down. That needs to
Really,
be
is
there.
that true? Because I assumed that, a chat GPT like thing would you just say, boss, write me a program.
But
And I've actually, my posture has changed now. Before on the computer I used to be like this, no? Like this, like this. Now I'm like,
even to use ChatGPT, I mean, use in the sense to adopt ChatGPT into somebody's, work. This one, people need to have the programming skills, even to use the SDKs and other stuff. So that is never going to die down, in my opinion. Either programming skills in Python or the Java kind of stuff. Then the AI algorithms and machine learning, deep learning, those stuff. And IoT, knowledge of IoT related protocols and sensor integration, understanding what kind of sensors are present and where it could be applied, integrating them into a system. So these are some of the skills which should definitely pick up. Additionally, edge computing and knowledge of cloud computing architectures like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. These kind of stuff, I think, will be more in demand in the future.
Okay, so the thing is, as you rightly said, that ChatGPT is giving everything, and somehow I feel that is sort of true. So whatever Deepa mentioned, those are the essential skills for next few years still, because ChatGPT hasn't completely.
how many years?
No one knows, but it's short term for sure. The thing is, I feel for long term, what we really need is, see, the thing is, when I look at our education system, we have made the factory of engineers, right? It was good for certain era when we had this industrial revolution or IT revolution or whatever. I think we have to come out of that mentality. Okay, we have to come out of that mentality, and that is what is happening with this new education, system which Modi ji is bringing. Person has to understand her own skills, her own strengths. Okay, if it is programming, it is programming. But if it is not, then now is the era which will actually give you to, fulfill the dreams that you have. I mean, because the thing is, the way in which ChatGPT is doing, so for example, if you need some information, that is there, right? So whatever Google has started and ChatGPT is taking ahead, if you want ready-made information, that is there. You don't have to go to books and read for it, right? But then what is important is the skill, the human skill, creativity. That is something which is important now. And, like as an entrepreneur, what you need network, right? How you build network? By talking to people, right? What you need is good idea. How do you get that idea? Maybe by learning about your environment or learning your, what's happening around you. And then you are picking up the idea from there, right? And that is something which is needed. For so many years, we are just making the factory of engineers who are going outside of the country and working as a service person, okay? But then now is the time when everything is available at your fingertips. I think you have to dream big. You have to dream bigger than what your earlier generation has done, okay? And the skills which I think is needed is more of those human skills or entrepreneur skills, so that you can create the wealth for your own country and not for other countries. That's what I feel.
Wonderful. So from what do you need, and I'll just pick up from when you started talking about entrepreneurship, there are certain skills that are needed as people who want a job, right, in these fields. But as entrepreneurs, what are the things that you need specifically in these fields? Just the top couple of qualities. And also what you shouldn't have, like what you should unlearn and keep away.
I think as an entrepreneur, you need to have passion and you need to have resilience. If either of two is not there, I think today entrepreneurship and startup has become a designation, unfortunately. Okay, co-founder, founder, like VP, co-VP. I think entrepreneurship is about doing something with which you create something and more focus on probably from a concept of institutional building. But because media covers flipping to sell, those kind of conversations, so the entrepreneurship fabric is very differently taught. But I would want to believe entrepreneurship is basically about resilience and having a passion to do it and being at it for a long haul. That's one.
But that applies to any kind of entrepreneurship. What about this particular field? What about AI and automation and data?
So I think specifically in this, I think we shouldn't look at it as a designation. That's the default. But I think more importantly, I think connecting with what you asked earlier and thing is, I think we should know what problem we are solving. Most people say, I'm starting an AI company. No, I am solving this problem. So she says, I'm visually impaired, I want to equip. So there is some focus. So we have a picture of a car dashboard and we did a small experiment, like you did a RJ experiment of asking, I did another experiment. There's a car dashboard and there, through the steering wheel a photograph, and we asked everybody, what do you see? Everybody saw the dashboard. Nobody saw the steering wheel. So I think from an entrepreneur side, it is, I'm solving something and therefore if for that I need AI, I have to use AI. No, I want to start a business in AI and solve a problem. I think wo ulta ho gaya, I mean reverse. So I think that's one. What I think people should not, if they don't have this, they should not do is, if they're not there for it to long haul and to create an institution in the short haul, my personal belief is they shouldn't be.
So you don't believe getting a quick valuation and exiting is...
No, it's okay, but you don't build for valuation, you build to solve a problem. I'm not, somebody would then see in Zoom and say it's a sour grape because, you know that. It's not that. If you solve a problem, apne aap,
it's of a higher value for you.
It's of a higher, that's what I mean.
Absolutely. Sangeeta?
I think entrepreneurship is an entrepreneur has to be a kind of a not talented but skilled person. This is what I feel. Because since I am in research, I would say that this has happened with me, so I can quickly tell you. So whenever I have generated my publications, I always feel that Jagat Bhari idea hai machi. So this is going to work and this is earth-breaking. However, as I go ahead, I realize that it is only 20% of the actual product that has to come in the market. So I need to get educated and then I need to have right kind of people around. So that is one thing that an entrepreneur should always bear in mind, that an idea is only a start. They have to do many other things for which they themselves cannot be well equipped. You know, they need to have a good team. So for example, I am a physics person. I will need somebody who is very good in computer engineering, somebody who is good in marketing, somebody who is good with packaging, and then only I can be a good or a successful entrepreneur. This is
wonderful. I think that's great advice. What did you say? You said the idea is not, an idea is not enough? The idea is not the whole thing?
The idea is not the whole thing.
It's
so
not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I think a round of applause for that. Look, my job is unique. I come up with ideas every day and I get to test them every day. So a lot of times I think, oh man, this is killer. Like this is going to get such big response. Na. I'm getting 1 million likes on Facebook, immediately I'm going to get. And nothing happens. Nobody reacts to it. And then I'm left wondering, "Arey, ye kya ho gaya?" Then other times I think this idea is okay. I mean, it's a medium sort of idea. It'll get decent response. But the response is tremendous and clicks with people. So I have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, why is it that this clicked? And why is it that I didn't think it would click? So that's a constant sort of thing. I think the humility there really helps. What do you think? Anything for entrepreneurs? And you can say, agar nahi jam raha hai, to you should not become an entrepreneur. I think we should say, I think more of that needs to be said also. Hai na?
I think I'm not the right person to advise on entrepreneurship, but as a overall perspective, I feel whoever is wanting to get into this kind of entrepreneurship journey, they should actually study the industry opportunities and map it to their skill sets and try to fill the gaps which is existing. Identify the gaps and carry it forward with that rather than doing something which everybody is doing. That's what I feel.
Great. Do you have any interesting sort of aha moments or the Archimedes sort of moment when you suddenly solved something using automation, data science, things like that? Does anybody have any interesting stories like that come to mind? Please, Sangeeta.
Yeah. I want to share this because I feel it's interesting. Same way, like Jagat Bhari. So, so actually, in defense, there is a problem. Those who are in physics or chemistry here will know this problem, that whenever we have explosive or propellant materials, detection of them at a very small percentage level is very important. We don't want to create a havoc and then realize that, oh, this was a poisonous gas which was kind of deployed somewhere. So there is a lot of research which people keep on doing on this. And in this, I was doing some project with Atomic Energy, Department of Atomic Energy, and they had given a problem of sulfur, SOX, and NOx sensing. So sulfur compounds and nitrous compounds. Now a conventional sensor, what it does is that it will always go through some reaction. So it will, let's say it's a resistance. So resistance of the sensor will decrease or it will increase when the percentage of the gas which is incident on it changes. So it is not, quantitative, and it is also not accurately qualitative. So there is a problem there, and even if it is not an SOX or NOx gas, but if it is a reducing gas, then also the resistance will increase or decrease, oxidizing gas, it will also change. So we started with this problem, and we started kind of improving our algorithm and machine learning algorithm on the sensor, and the sensor started becoming smarter and smarter. And then we could find out a 4-level calibration scale, which was able to give us exactly that explosive material which was having an amount of ppm or ppb concentration. And that was our kind of aha moment, that, oh, we are able to now actually see. So it was a very highly rated project with Atomic Energy. And that's how, this was one. One more, if you allow me to, I will.
Please.
So one more was, as we all work in this, in our country, we all have to work for our own country. I always say that if anemia is a big problem in our country, then we better work on anemia rather than working on varicose veins, for example, which is not a very big problem. So as I started working on this, I realized that it's a non-trivial problem, because when you test hemoglobin, so hemoglobin is a measure of anemia. So you have to extract large amount of blood from a patient, and then you have to put it in the lab and do the testing, and then you finally find out what is the HB value. Now this is not a very great way of doing it, and if you see the literature, you'll find that there are non-invasive sensors which look like oximeter, and they sense the HB. But you don't see them much in the Indian market, first, because there are no Indian manufacturers in the market. And point number 2, that even if you have that, the low values, which are actually anemic, are not accurate. So if it's
something to do with the pigmentation or something like that?
It's related to some optical data, blood absorption coefficient, and things like that. So then again, this machine learning and AI came to help, and we made an optical device, and we started again kind of making it more and more smarter. And we could actually see a very small child, which was of, I think, 5 to 6 years old. She put her little finger in the probe, and we could actually see that she was anemic. We had gone for a workshop there. And her number was around 8.5. And that was an aha moment, that we really thought that, yeah, we are there. But as I told you, it's only 30%, 40%. So later on, we have to keep on, till it comes in the market.
That's wonderful. Absolutely. And what Uma you said, that also resonates so much that भैया अपने पास problem क्या है? What is the problem I'm trying to solve? How am I trying to change this world? And then how I do it, whether I do it through AI or whether I do it through a funny monologue that I do. It doesn't matter, but let's figure out what it is that we are trying to do.
Yeah, I think I'll start. There was a customer who was making cables, large cables, and they had a factory, and the CEO felt they had issues in productivity, right? And he came back and said, I think there's a problem. Can you go in and check it out? So there are operators do running it, and they don't like anybody coming and seeing this. And so there's a noise around that there might be issues, but nobody is saying everything is on top, their metrics are coming perfect and all of it. So I told the supervisor, I think we can measure something and give you insight, give you that. And that's like walking into a lion's mouth, right? You say, I'll go and show you. And I don't think he was very happy, whatever. So we left it at that. But I gave one small advice to the CEO to do a small trick. I'll tell the trick later. But I said, you can do this and check this out, and left it at that. What happened was, because they were doing cables, it was there, and if anybody has been to factories, there is work in progress. That means half is done or more. So if it's not running in the productivity, the in between places, the surplus will start physically stop. So what we did, because they said there's no adjustment done on it and all of that, we asked somebody else. We took the permission of the CEO and made a small setting change and said, leave it at that. And we did an intervention and leave it. Within 1 week, the factory, the cable started piling up. It's like our sugar, right? When I am diabetic, I use the CGM. When it tells me, while it does good things like tell you what food you need, it also has a flip side to it. I also know how much increases if I eat. So I feel anyway I can do exercise. It works both ways. So many of these exercises, so we put that. So what happened, what problem? They said data was fine and good. Physically the shop floor, the material came, then nobody can, it's like a drain stuck, right? Then the CEO called up and said, what the hell did you do? The shop floor material has come up. So sometimes people don't accept there's a problem because it's not visible, especially in shop floors and bottlenecks. So there are ways by which we can work on human psychology and do those interventions. The same way on the other side, when I told you about that extrusion, the final climax was what gave us an aha. The foreman figured out that he's no longer can control. He became one of the most spirited guys supporting the CEO, and it changed the game. So we do an initiative in the foundation where if I have a maid at home, I don't think people see her as a working woman. Right. So you don't give her the incentives, but you negotiate your incentives at the office.
No
so
insurance, no holidays, no vacations.
Insurance. So I think, but when I take a job, I demand this for women, but I have a women recruited at my home, I don't. So I think if we are very true to our conscience, I think it's simpler, but I think the difficulty is in being true to the conscience.
What a wonderful time I have had with all four of you. Very erudite, very articulate, very intelligent, and well deserving of the awards. Thank you very much for sharing all of this with us. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And that brings us right to the end. I'm going to invite now the new director of C4I4 Lab, Dr. Sadashib Padhi. He has a PhD in HR and organizational development. I wish we had a little more time because I would then ask you a few questions, because I get invited to these to give talks at various corporates, right? So I realize that HR has this habit of saying, "Ek celebrity ko bulaya, uska talk kiya, tick," right? So they have this tick mark kind of thing going on, and then I always sort of needle them a little bit and say, "Yaar, HR में काम करता है, मतलब करता क्या है यार दिन भर? What is it that you do?" But maybe we can have that conversation a little later. Having chaired the CII WR subcommittee on IR and diversity and being a member of the CII National Committee on Leadership and HR, Dr. Sadashib is deeply involved in shaping the industry landscape. He has been recognized for his expertise and contributions, serving as a mentor and jury chair for esteemed organizations such as CII and playing a pivotal role in promoting excellence in HR. He was the CHRO and Vice President of HR, CSR, IEHS and Marcom at Kirloskar Pneumatic Company Limited and was the driving force behind organizational transformation and development. He's up next. He's going to propose a vote of thanks. I want to thank you guys. I have to head to the stadium. There's something called the MPL. I don't understand cricket. I don't like cricket, but for some reason they thought that it would be a good idea to invite me there. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about there, but I have to head out to that match. I had a wonderful time. Thank you very much. We'll stay connected on Facebook or Instagram, depending on your age. Some people are on both. I don't know why, but I'll see you somewhere in the cyberspace. And of course, on the radio, on Big FM, Dhun Badal Ke To Dekho. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Ajay Sangram. We won't let you go so easily. You have really felicitated many of the stalwarts, and I request my colleagues also to felicitate you. I think it was more enriching listening to you the way, and I must tell you, I was just googling about him before he came in. He also wasn't going to be an engineer, by the way, and but he followed his passion. He dropped out the studies of engineering, if you know, and he didn't let his parents know for 1 full year. That's what is Sangram, and you can really smell the flavor of the questioning, the kind of queries, the way the witty humor, and I think you made our day. Thank you so much. So wish to really felicitate you, requesting Mr. Naval Gunkar to honor Arjay Sangram for doing the wonderful work that we listened to. He has 3 different events today, so he's to see you again in many of the Kirloskar programs. I'll just say that's where you enjoyed yourself. I'm here, I'll not take much time to sincerely thank many of the actually very stalwarts today who graced the occasion. We firstly thank our chief guests coming here, spending time, and without you, probably programs could not have been very interesting. Also, we thank Dr. Sujata Tilak for the jury work, along with Dr. Sripad Ranade. The way the both of them had really had tough time selecting, judging the awardees. We of course honor and we're very thankful to the all 4 awardees, ma'am, all of you. I think the way you described your stories, that's what the audiences particularly wanted to listen to more of those things, your life stories. And we sincerely thank many of the invitees who could make it here, particularly the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Gosavi. He had wanted to be here sincerely, but actually for the G20 programs going on in the university, you see, Dr. Gosavi couldn't make it. And we probably will be meeting him next time or in a few events like this going forward. And also the wonderful audiences, the senior colleagues that we have graced this event today. We have, of course, Dr. Shaligram, the CEO of the Innovation Center and of the Pune University. Without his help, these things could not have been possible. Also, I see a lot of friends and colleagues from Kirloskar and from outside. You took interest in being a working day, coming here and spending time. Actually speaks for your passion for the topic that we have in data science and other topics that we talk about, ChatGPT, AI, ML, VR, AI, all these things. And so we'd like to repeat this program each year on behalf of C4I4 Lab. And we really sincerely wish that all of you can spare time even next year to come and learn with us together in this journey. And we probably trying to get the best of the talent in the country. All of them, they're excellent. Actually, other applicants, they were excellent. But at the same time, we need to pick the eye of the brains, and they are here. And this is a very unique annual event. So all of you could make it, and we want to repeat it again next year. I might be forgetting the many names who are here. Please pardon me for that. Toward the end, I'd like to thank my colleagues in CFI for who really relentlessly worked throughout last few weeks under the guidance of Mr. Navalgunkar. And Mr. Navalgunkar is, though I'm inheriting him, he is not going anywhere else. He's taking a larger, better, more technical kind of things now. He'll be announcing it very shortly. So would like to thank all the colleagues of CFI for respect to have worked it out very thoroughly. So thank you so much. And finally, before we conclude, would like to also request all of you to, if my colleagues are ready, Prachi, you're ready with the, would like to conclude the program with the playing our national anthem. So that's the best thing we can do for the country and for the national for every event. So I'll request colleagues to play the national anthem, and with that we conclude. And before that, I must also announce that most of you who are interested to come to C4I4 Experience Center now, you're most welcome. We'd like to have guided to all of you, and you can have a flavor of what we are doing in C4I4. Thank you so much. Now the national anthem, please.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you so much for attending, and see you all next year again. Thank you so much.